Hello everyone and welcome to Stan the Wine Man TV. I am your host, Stan Rattan, and this is the Blue Collar Wine Show where I help you spend your wine dollars wisely. We're doing a GSM, Washington GSM Red Blend episode. GSM means Grenache, Syrah, Mourvedre. These are very popular blends in, well, all over the place. People love the GSM blends. And this episode is dedicated to David Rumlow, who asked me to do it. He's a very dedicated viewer of this channel, and I appreciate his support very, very much. David, thank you. And I do like to do GSM Red Blends on the Washington Wine Month episodes, and we're going to do 4 of these. Now, the cool thing about Washington wine, and Washington does a lot of varietals very well. They do great Grenache, they do great Mourvedre, they do great Syrah, and so you put all those together, you have these GSM blends. Sometimes they add a little something else, maybe a Counoise or a Cinsault, but basically they're Grenache, Syrah, Mourvedre. And they became most popular in the Rhone, the southern Rhone, where they do a lot of GSM blends. Most of them are Grenache dominant, but they all have a little Syrah, Mourvedre in them as well. So the Rhone Valley has been doing GSM blends for many years, and now Washington's come along, and yeah, we're doing them very well. Syrahs, they do some amazing Syrah in Washington State. So having Syrah, and I like a lot of the Grenache coming out of Washington State as well. Mourvedre, there's only a couple of wineries that do straight up Mourvedre. So, you know, and I think Mark Ryan Winery does a Mourvedre, and I have another one, I can't remember what it is. Mark Ryan calls theirs Crazy Mary Mourvedre. Anyway, we're going to get started right away with these GSMs from Washington State. And we're starting off with the Eisenhower I-Series GSM from 2022. As you guys know, great. I think that's a great vintage in Washington State. Columbia Valley, this rolls in at $20. It is 48% Grenache, 47% Syrah, and 5% Mourvedre. Mourvedre is often put in there for the color. It gives it depth. $20. Let's get started right away. I'm excited about the Eisenhower wines. They did, in my recent episode, challenging, it was a blind episode, Washington State Malbec versus Argentinian Malbec. Eisenhower showed really well, so I'm very interested to try their GSM Red Blend. Sorry, something got my... So very dark in color. Give a Bob and Kathy board out here. Yeah, you can see through it, but not very well. It's got a little blackish hue to it. Yeah, there we go. Let's see what we get on the nose. Oh, you can taste the black pepper spice on this. This is really cool. A Grenache is always tends to be spicy, so you get some white black pepper in Grenache. Getting some tobacco notes on this is really cool. Also some boysenberry. Plum notes as well. Let's see what we get on the palate. Good notes on this one. Smooth tannins, nice depth. This is nicely integrated. Little grip on the back end. I'm getting black olive. I'm getting plum. I'm getting some boysenberry notes. I'm getting some spice on the finish. Nice start to the GSM Red Blend episode. Now these have not been open very long. I'm liking this one. Good balance. Nice integration of fruit. A little bit, I like that little bit of grip on the backside. This would be a great food wine. The acidity is nicely balanced. Yeah, I can see this going with a lot of different foods. You know, chicken. It's not heavy at all. It's kind of light on the palate, which is cool. I like the spice on the finish. So this, you could probably do this with salmon, I would think. But ham, pork, anything like that, this would be excellent with. I like it. I'm going to go straight up B to B plus on that. Let's move on to the, let's go with this one. This is Kind of a cool label. This is the Secret Squirrel GSM Red, Columbia Valley 2019, so a little bit of age on it. This is 72% Syrah, 17% Grenache, 7% Mourvedre, and 4% Cinsault. Cinsault is a grape they use in the Rhone Valley as well. And Chateauneuf-du-Pape is probably one of the most famous Southern Rhone producers. Many of you like Chateauneuf-du-Pape. This is actually made by Corliss Cellars, Secret Squirrel 2019 Columbia Valley GSM Red with a little Cinsault in it. $20. Let's see if we get on the, color on this. Yeah. Now this is a little darker. This is in the purple reddish color, which is interesting because, you know, it's in 2019. Corliss Cellars makes this wine. It's one of their other labels that they do. Let's see what we get on the nose. Oh, this, you know, immediately I got sort of a, wow, cool. Almost like a walnut sort of thing going on, which is really interesting. Definitely getting some plum notes, some blackberry notes. There's a little bit of a sweetness on the nose as well. Some sweet aromas coming through on this one. And it actually is a little bit meaty. It has some meaty characteristics on the nose as well. Let's see what we get on the palate. Very polished. This is smooth. It does have a little bit of a grip on the backside, which I like. I like a little bit, so it makes it good for food. You want a little bit of that kind of grippy tannins on this one? Very polished, very smooth, plum, blackberry notes. I'm getting even a little bit of dark cherry notes on this one. Some tobacco notes going through. Not as much spice as the Eisenhower. There's just a little kind of hint of spice on the backside. But overall, just very polished, very smooth, very easy to drink. I'm not calling this one super complex. Cute label. I always tell people in my department at King's Market, don't worry about the cute label because I always try them. I'm never going to put a wine on the shelf just because it has a cute label. It has to be good wine. This is solid wine. I'm going to just go straight up be on it. I like the Eisenhower just a little bit better, but good wine. I know why it's very popular. We sell a lot of it. Price is right too. So this is the 2022, another 22, Gilbert Cellars Albroges. I think that's how they say it. I think this is $24. Yakima Valley, one of my favorite appellations in Washington State. Yakima Valley. This is, see if I can read that. 48% Grenache, 28% Syrah, and 24 Mourvedre. A lot of Mourvedre in this one. I hope I got those numbers right. My eyes are a little blurry right now. Sorry about that, guys, but somewhere in there, hopefully that adds up to, I'll put it in the footnotes because I'll be able to read it a little bit better. And it's interesting to give little tasting notes on the side. Always scary to do that. Yeah, 48, 28, 24. Yeah, I think that's right. Yes. Let's give it a little rinse. Gilbert Cellars is Dusty Jenkins is a winemaker. He has his own little label called Sage Rat Wines. He was my wine of the year a couple years ago. $24. They just redesigned their label. I think they did a pretty good job with their label. Always scary when a winery changes their label. Color on this. Yeah, this is in the reddish, dark reddish. You can see through it a little bit, but yeah, pretty dark. I like that. Yeah, nice. So this is, again, this is Grenache dominant. This one was Syrah dominant. This one was, is Grenache dominant. Well, Grenache, Syrah, pretty equal. So, this is Grenache dominant, which is in the Rhone Valley. They really favor Grenache there. Getting some black olive, some tobacco, some black plum notes. A little bit of blackberry on this one as well. Let's see what we get on the palate. Interesting on the alcohol content on this one is I get a little burn on my nose, which is, I think it says 15% alcohol. No, maybe 13. Sorry. I don't want Charlie Gilbert to get mad at me. Yeah, there's a little sweetness on this nose as well. Let's see if we get on the palate. So it's more fruit forward, pretty, not hedonistic. It's fresh, good balance of fruit and acid. There's a sweetness on this one that comes through on the backside, kind of like a ripe plum, ripe blackberry notes. Good acid though. It's fresh on the palate, but that fruit really kind of pops on the mid palate into the finish. This is, I would call this a 10 in the delicious category. Very well made. It has a little bit of a grip on the backside as well. Good food wine. I like this wine quite a bit. I think it's pretty equal to the Eisenhower. Nice complexity, good spice. Now the spice comes out a little bit more on the backside of this one. I'm going to go B plus A minus on this. I think it's a very solid GSM red. I like it quite a bit. Of course, if you know me, I always like it when the less expensive ones show better. I think the Eisenhower's a really good buy. I think $24 is not a lot of money considering the quality of that wine. Let's move on to the Syncline 2022. Again, good vintage. Columbia Valley Subduction Red. This is $30 now, so we're getting a little serious here. This is 47% Mourvedre. 35% Syrah, 17% Grenache, and 1% Cinsault. Now, you know, it's funny when you see that 1%. What does that make a difference? Now, when you're doing a blending session, which I've done a couple of those, I've been involved in a couple of blending sessions with winemakers, and really, those 1% sometimes make quite a bit of difference. $30, Syncline, James Mentone. I have a lot of respect for that dude. Serious winemaker. Well, all these guys are, just saying. James Mentone has a thing for peak pool, of all things, a white grape. So the color on this is, yeah, you can see through this fairly easily. Yeah, kind of a reddish, you know, transparent reddish color. You can probably see that on there a little bit easier than the board. Like I said, $30, Syncline, Subduction Red, Columbia Valley, 2022. And this one is Mourvedre dominant, which is interesting. Very interesting. Let's see what we got on those. You'll rarely see, if ever, a Southern Rhone wine that is Mourvedre dominant. This is very challenged on the nose. A little bit of a kind of a Smucker's grape jam smell on it. Yeah, it's very challenged aromatically. And that doesn't always scare me. Sometimes they are, and then you put them in your mouth and it's like, wow, where was that on the nose? Yeah, right? I'm getting a little strawberry kind of plum notes as I swirl it in the glass. Maybe a little bit of tobacco, maybe. Let's see what we get on the palate. So, I'm having a tough time with this one. Initial attack on the palate, right up front, you get kind of that plum strawberry, maybe a little bit of blackberry, a little bit of umami, like barbecue spices coming through on this one. But then it just kind of, it doesn't disappear, but it doesn't have a strength going through to the finish. Yeah, the finish is a little weak on this wine. The initial attack and the mid palate are really strong. Nice, like I said, ripe plum, a little bit of strawberry action, maybe throwing just a little bit of blackberry, but then it just kind of fades away. Which, you know, we always like to finish strong, right? Finish strong, that's what it's all about. $30. I'm going to pass on this one because I think these guys show really well. 24, 2020, really good wines. This one for $30. Maybe, you know, I don't know. I'm just saying I'm going to go B- on that one. And that might be being a little bit generous. But, yeah, that's where I'm going on that one. There you have it. 4 GSMs from Washington State. 3 pretty strong. 1, yeah, kind of a pass. At $30, just saying. Thanks for taking a little time out of your day. Please subscribe to my channel so you can see what's coming up next. I am going to do, I think, a very interesting kind of diversity of different white wines that they do in Washington State. Spring is almost here. Might as well do that. You keep watching, and I'll keep helping you spend your wine dollars wisely, because that's what I like to do.